Hello everyone, welcome back to another Pokemon stream, your first Pokemon stream, whatever it is. Hello, and welcome on in. Happy Friday. Oh my goodness, it's Friday. Welcome guys. How we doing? Arcane, hello, hi. Simyo, welcome. Hello. Early birds today, huh? Put my headphones on, my hair looks weird, I don't really care right now. Just trying to look somewhat presentable for y'all. How we doing, everyone? Happy Friday. I said that already. It's Friday. Finally, the weekend is here. I get to sleep in tomorrow. And then comes Monday. And we're having a trivia night. And I got 59 out of 65 of the questions ready to go. I just need to finish the last 6 of them. Your guys are in for a blast, dude. It's either gonna be like super freaking easy, or you're gonna be just as confused as I was making it. Panda Pants, hello, welcome on in. Long time no see, welcome back. All right, straight into the game. Let's go. Okay, lovely people, so here's the deal. We got 20 Pokemon we need to evolve. I put them on a post-it note. Okay? Now, I know Palafin is a dumb evolution. I don't care what y'all say. It's a dumb evolution, and with doing that, something just went into my eye. Freaking lovely. Is it an eyelash? It was an eyelash. Nope, it's still there. Probably hanging by a thread. No one needs to see that. Okay. I'm good. I am good. So, aside from Palafin, which I know has to be either I have to encounter it in a raid and be so lucky and actually be online, which we're gonna do right when we start streaming today, because I don't want to find another Palafin raid den and then lose it because I need help to defeat it. So, I'm gonna lurk while coding. Hey, okay, Panda, thank you for the lurk. Go for it. On your secret mission. Good luck coding. Hope you don't miss any commas. I actually like Palafin. I don't. The evolution looks the same as the start, and then it transforms into a monstrosity. Nobody wants that monstrosity. I don't want that monstrosity, but I need to get that monstrosity. Anyway, so aside from Palafin, which, fingers crossed, we find another Raiden. Otherwise, I have to go and find a way to evolve this thing. I don't think any of the other Pokemon have any like special treatment evolutions. Slowking, I know I need an item for. Monstrosity that can almost rival Arceus. I know, but look at it! It's so ugly! At least Arceus is elegant. This monstrosity looks like a dolphin went to the gym, took steroids, and it went horribly wrong in like a Frankenstein experiment kind of way. So like, I don't know. I just checked through my boxes, I got a spare Palafin. But I need to evolve it though. Or find the Raiden. I really hope I'm lucky enough to find a Raiden today. But yeah, so aside from Palafin, I know Slowking needs an item to evolve, and unless y'all tell me that Rapska is some kind of like souped up special evolution kind of situation going on, then I think pretty much all of them are just level up and go. So we'll see how far we can get. I'm really aiming to get all 20 of them. Palafin is Evo. I know! What did I say? Did I say I need to evolve Palafin? No, I need to evolve Finazin into Palafin. Or find a Palafin raid den. What did I say? You don't have to evolve it if I give it to you. I know, but like... Anyway, So yeah, that's the goal. I am gonna do my best without any candies to evolve as many Pokemon as I possibly can. And see how far we can get. We still need to evolve 20 of them. No, 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 not 1,000 steps again. Does it spawn in the wild? Please tell me it spawns in the wild. Because I know Tumbleweed is also 1,000 steps, but it spawns in the wild. And we managed to catch one, so I didn't have to walk the 1,000 steps. So, can we get Rapska in the wild? And if so, where? Because we're gonna go there first. I must literally be the only person who doesn't have an issue with that evolution method. Walking 1,000 steps was never hard for me. In person or in game? Because in game, I must have walked like 1,000,000 steps with Pomo, and it was terrible. It took me like 3 or 4 tries to finally evolve Pomo into Pomo. And yes, I know I said Pomo into Pomo. Honestly, it should have gone Pommy Pomot. It isn't Pommy Pomot. It's Pommy standing up and then Pomot. Anyway. You're nearly out of battle, which doesn't count. That's why it took so long. Well, I mean, the Pokemon don't they have to catch up with me every single time, and I have to keep throwing them out, and that's really freaking annoying. I don't like it. If I can just catch it, I'll be done with it. I would rather run around in circles like a crazy person trying to find a Pokemon that is catchable than run around in circles like a crazy person trying to make a Pokemon walk enough so that it evolves. So, yeah, I don't like the 1,000-step method. It's just like, how can we make evolution suck? Yeah, let's just make the Pokemons like wander around for 1,000 steps without battling anything, because at the moment they battle something, yeah, it doesn't count anymore. So, oh no. Please tell me it's good news. Please tell me it's good news. Please tell me it's good news. Please, please, symbiote. Oh no, it's gonna be bad news. Isn't fun. No. But why is a tumbleweed found in the wild? Why? Why? They put 3 freaking Pokemon. They put 3 freaking Pokemon with this messed up 1,000-step thing. And only one of them is found in the wild? I don't like it. Want me to evolve one for you for your sanity? Nah. The sanity is gone anyways. I left the sanity behind at like 3 p.m. today. With this dumb driver girl. I wouldn't call her a driver, though. This person that thinks they know how to drive. No, I want to get it myself. Everything that I can get myself without having to use traits, I will get myself without having to use traits. Trading is only for things that are version exclusive or trade evolutions or of those kinds. So, that is my principle that I've lived by for 20 plus years. And that is what we're going to keep going. I know, it's very annoying. You know, you guys would be like, this girl is crazy. She could just like get it in the Pokedex and be done with it. No, I have to get it myself. That is the law. Okay, that is the law. But yeah. Oh my goodness. We about to have a hard time today, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Isn't Slowking a trait? I thought Slowking was just give the item and level it up. Oh no. Is it a trait evo? Evolves from slow. It is a trade! Oh. You got him from a raid? Okay. We gotta check every single raid den and hope that we get lucky. And that we find the Pokemon that we need so that we don't have to evolve one. But yeah. So, basically I have to evolve Fuecoco twice. I have to evolve, or catch, to Wigglytuff, to Colossal, to Muck, to Skuntank, Rapska. I need to get to Crocodile, a Salamence, the evolution of Morgrem, Palafin. I need to get I need to finish evolving my Dracloak. I need to get a double evolution for Larvitar. I need a Palossand, the Slowking, Dragalge, double evolve for Dino, and finish evolving into Baxcalibur. That is my list, and hopefully we are going to manage to get through it all today, provided the raid dens are in our favor. Yeah, I believe we have to have a seen Pokemon for it to appear in the raid. Well, I have seen Rapska, so that's cool. Maybe I'll get lucky. I have seen Palafin, so that's cool. Maybe I'll get lucky. I have not seen Slowking though, so I think we had to run that trade, but I'm gonna leave that for last. Whatever needs to get traded and stuff like that, I'll leave that for last. Let's just accomplish everything we can accomplish with the things that can naturally evolve without trading. And yes, I am incredibly stubborn about this. Don't mention it. Or do mention it. I know. But yeah. Okay, so we gotta hurry, and I need some water. I might actually, okay, so here's the deal. Dinner did not go well today. You're incredibly stubborn about this. Yes, I am. It's a tradition that I've held for the past 20 years when I had no one to play with, and I'm gonna keep holding on to it. I'm assuming it's annoyingly entertaining for you as well to watch me lose my mind over this stuff. I'm not 100% sure this water is gonna suffice for today. Dinner did not go well. I didn't know what to make for dinner, and so we bought these noodles to try out, and they taste very good for the first 10 seconds. And after that, they burn your throat. Nowhere on the package says that this food was spicy. But guess what? This food was spicy. Nowhere on the package visibly said that this food was spicy. But guess what? On the ingredients list, there is chili powder. And I'm just like, you know, those little flames that symbolize spicy, you could have put those on the freaking packet. Why did you not put this on the packet? If the thing is spicy, you should put the little flames on the packet. But you didn't put the little flames on the packet, and I have no spice tolerance. And my mouth is still just slightly on fire. Just slightly. Yeah. I mean, this is why I don't try new foods, okay? This is exactly the reason why I don't try new foods. Because every time I try something, it's too spicy for me. And I'm just like, just put the spice symbol on the packet. Just put it on the packaging. Tell me on the packaging that this thing is spicy. And be done with it. So I don't have to waste my money and my time and my sanity eating it. Spice tolerance is overrated. I enjoy the pain of eating things way spicier than I know how to handle. Okay, there's a difference between having any tolerance and having zero. Like, I cannot even handle pepper. I cannot season my food with pepper because that is enough for me to be able to uneat it. What? To not be able to eat it. To Be able to uneat it, that just means throwing up. So yeah, if I'm not choking on my own saliva and feeling it again in 3 hours. Oh my god, that's terrible. I don't understand how you people exist, honestly. People that can handle spicy food and actually like enjoy the pain. I don't understand how y'all exist, but good for you. I have 0 of that, and I am still in pain. I took literally 2 bites of my dinner tonight. And then I was just like, this is spicy. And because my partner knows that my spice tolerance is like 0, he thought I was exaggerating, because he always thinks I'm very dramatic about everything, until he tried to eat it. And then he was like, oh no, this is pretty good. And then 10 seconds later, it hit him, and he was like, oh my damn, this is actually spicy. So if my partner says it's spicy, it's because it felt 5 times spicier for me. I have no tolerance. It was like barely better than you. Okay, but you actually enjoy it, Panda. Like, enjoying spicy food, that's like half of it. I have no tolerance, and I don't enjoy it, okay? I am not a spicy food masochist. I will keep with my non-spicy food. Thank you. When I go to Japan, I am going to be screwed. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do if that happens. Anyways, let me start with the game, because I found something, and I don't know if y'all know this. But if you don't, you will start knowing it now, because I just found this, like, I was just counting how many Pokemon I still had to evolve. And I found this. And I found this by accident, and I can't stop it. It just keeps moving up and giving me things. So if y'all don't know this, this is what I'm talking about. Bring. So below the Pokedex, if you press X, you get stuff. I didn't know you could get stuff, but I can't stop it. I can't back out and show the entirety of the thing to you. It just keeps going. So I didn't know this. So we just gonna keep going, because I can't back out of it. I need to keep going. I told you about the last stream. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It just keeps going. You said about the thing. I thought you meant the thing with the professor thing, not the professor, the teacher. Did you get any special balls yet? I mean, there was a promotion for the promotion, the code for love balls. Have you been collecting the rewards from the Dex? I thought you were talking about the rewards you get from filling up the Pokedex that you get from Professor Francois, or whatever that professor's name is, at school. And yes, I have been collecting those. I did not realize you could have these. So now we're basically stuck in this situation until I get to the end. So this is life now, right now. I just keep pressing A. And seems like we're gonna get just about a little bit of everything. That's kind of sad considering I just bought a bunch of Pokeballs last time. How many levels is this? Oh, wait, what? Fastballs. I get 1 fastball. Okay. Ooh, and a friend ball? Okay. How do I get more of those? Oh, and a level ball. Okay, we're getting the rare balls right now, huh? Ooh, look at that. It's a lure ball. Why just 1 though? You get one ball of several types, but what if I want more than one? The heavy ball. It's the moon ball. I really like the moon balls. They have a little moon on them. They're so freaking cute. Dream ball. Oh man. I wish I had more of those. There's a lot of pink Pokemon. And too bad, I guess. Oh no, you can get more by bidding on them at the city? You mean the auction thing in Puerto Marinada? Okay, so we're almost at the end there. Okay. I can leave now. I'm gonna save just in case. Didn't know that. I didn't know that either. Okay. But be prepared to give your life savings. Well, here's the thing. Let me show you the... Oh, that was the wrong button. Let me show you those life savings we're talking about. If we go to all the spicy things, we got 40 bamboo, tiny bamboos, 8 big ones, 28 nuggets, 7 big nuggets, 31 mushrooms, 11 big mushrooms, 3 bombs, 104 stardust, 28 star pieces, 26 pearls, 5 big pearls, 9 pearl strings, and then 7 comet shards and 65 rare bones. I think I have a pretty good life savings accumulated here, considering I've never sold anything, I think. Like 400k. I mean, that's not too bad. Does it is it money, or does it have to be or can it also be like the points thing? What's the points thing called? The points thing. I don't know what the points thing's called. I used my level ball in the 7-star surfing Pikachu. I'm broke as hell. I think just money. Okay. Well, we can fix that. You can get money by finding items and then selling items, so... I would say that's not too bad. And this area gives the bamboo things. Those are good. Apparently you can sell those and they give you money for them, so... You can just collect a few more while we're here. You don't have pinks. Bamboo shoots. Look, there's Dratini over here. Interesting. Okay, let me see what the team is right now. Okay, so I'm gonna continue evolving these 3, and then we're gonna go figure things out. And in the meantime, we're gonna battle this person because, hey, XP! Every little bit counts. Once we've evolved one of the... Oh my god, it's a Brushix. Oh my god, I hate this Pokemon so much. It's such a bad Pokemon, I don't even care. Can you just die? Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know why Brushix was invented. It's not a good Pokemon. Yeah. It is not a good Pokemon. I can still feel fire on the back of my throat. You only say that because Tink is a half fairy type. Cause I swear, if Brushix was like water fairy, I'm sure you would hate it just as worse than Tink. Booting a Pokemon for the first time in a week. Oh, fun. Wait, I thought you were coding. What happened to that? No, I actually just hate Tink's design. But it has a giant hammer. It destroys things. Shh. Oh, Panda. Do I have to mom you into doing your homework? I don't know how to do that. I'm not a mom. I mean, I am a mom of 3 cats, but that's not the same as humans. You can't really make cats do things. So, and sometimes you can't really make humans do things either, so. That doesn't help. That does not help. Looking for people to fight and sparkles on the floor. Ooh, people to fight. Love hammers, they're my go-to in every game, but I see it as an insult that Tink has one. Honestly, I am still kind of pissed off that Tink's shiny only changes the hammer's color, which kind of basically means that the hammer is the Pokemon and not the cutie patootie that's holding the hammer. But, yeah. It is what it is. Am I strong or is Belly Bolt that weak? Or frail? I should say frail. Oh, that was it? Oh, okay. That's fine, I guess. Can I get more sparkles before I move on to wherever it is that I'm going? I will take that as a no. No, I cannot. Thick-brained, hello! What does that say? Bonk? Does that say bonk? I have to get glasses made. Like, I'm not even joking. How we doing, sir? Ma'am? Human? Person? It says bonk. I saw hammer talk. Yeah, Tink has a large hammer and it goes boom. It destroys stuff. But, like, Symbio doesn't like the hammer. So. Ooh, Arboliva! It is very elegant. It has its arms up. Is it under arrest or something? It's under arrest, isn't it? How goes the poking of Mons? I have to evolve 20 more Pokemon, and I am a stubborn little human. I refuse to use candies. And also, I refuse to use candies. That's basically it. I refuse to use candies. I would like to see if I can get them all evolved today, but I highly doubt that that will work. It's not the hammer I don't like, it's the pink abomination holding it that I don't like. Okay, but if the pink abomination was like, I don't know, blue, green, orange, any other color except for pink, would you like it then? Like, is pink the problem or is the design the problem? Because it's the design. Okay, well then no color's gonna fix that, no. Trick Room. Oh, it's gonna be faster than me now, isn't it? Oh no, we went up. Oh no, the spice is back. I hate everything. I hate everything. Why is the spice back? I swear, the next time I find a packet that is spicy and doesn't say that it's spicy on the packet, I'm gonna go all Karen. I'm gonna go Karen on these people. I'm not, because I don't have the guts to do that, but yeah. I'm gonna hit this 7-star Pikachu. Hey, go hit that 7-star Pikachu. If you find any Palafin raids, can you invite me? I hate the fact that the spice went back up when I coughed. It's very bad. I don't like it one bit. Today has been a day, man. It's been quite an adventure. I went to the bank. I got to the bank. There was an ambulance in front of the bank. I did absolutely nothing to the 7-star Pikachu, just spammed healing chair. Oh wow. Ooh, there's a thing over there. And another trainer as well. Thing and trainer. Haven't defeated this trainer yet. Yeah. But yeah, so today I went to the bank. I got to the bank, and there was an ambulance in front of the bank. I don't know if they were dealing with something from the bank or with something from the McDonald's across the street from the bank, but it was in front of the bank. I went to park my car, and by the time I actually got to the front door of the bank, the ambulance was driving off with the sirens on. So I have no idea what happened. I don't know if someone died or not, but I am curious and I would have liked to know. And then after that, I went to do some other things for work. And I have encountered the absolute worst driver I have ever, or parker, I should say. I don't know how the person drives, but parking is not their strong suit, man. Genuinely. May I give you a Pokemon? It depends on what the Pokemon is, Panda. If it's something I don't have and cannot evolve to, then no. It's completely unrelated to your current goals. Okay, but what is it? What is it though? I need to know because I normally don't accept trades. It's a surprise? Well, that's that then. Who are you? You are a Raichu. I don't need you. Wait, can you get a Alolan Raichu in this game? Or is it just like the regular one? Can you only get Kanto Raichu or also Alola? Look, there's an item over here. Pollen Puff. Just Kanto. Okay. Okay, I need to find more trainers and I need to find Doggo on a rock. Just figure out where I'm going to. It's just a Froakie. Okay, wait. Symbio, was one of the eggs you gave me a Froakie? I don't actually remember what they all hatched into. If I'm being honest. Because I know there was a Greninja thingamajig raid den event thing happening a while ago. And it may or may not be shiny. Then definitely no. If it's shiny, I don't want it. I'm very particular of finding my own shinies. And no, I know I'm such a stubborn human being. Can I find it here? Wait, I can't even find Charmander in here. How am I supposed to know if things... If things did a thing? It takes so long to load. I am going to quit this. You, do you have stuff for me? Okay, so there's definitely a lot more people in this area that I have not fought against. We just need to find them. Wait, there's a sparkly. There we go, Choppleberry. I do not mind the berries. Just want to know where all the trainers are at. You would think there'd be at least one trainer on this path, right? Have I been in this corner of the world? I feel like I haven't. Well, I might have been. Wait, I know that there's trainers by those towers over there that I haven't fought yet, so maybe we'll go there. Okay. Wish you could actually see like the Pokemon spawns and trainer renderings from up above, like tiny little ants. Ants? Not aunts. Ants. Tiny little ants. Would be nice. It would be very, very nice. Okay. Oh, burps. And a whole lot of sparkles. Act crazy and they won't hunt you, right? Have I fought you? No, I have not fought you. Yay! Changling! Also, Panda, you know you can, if you're interested, I don't know if you're interested, but you can play this game offline while I'm offline as well. It's not restricted to when I'm online, so if you ever are bored, and just hop in the chat and type the commands. They will work. Oh, that was way too easy. I'm way too overleveled for this. Now, there was a trainer somewhere here that had one of those black balloons. Those are supposed to give out more XP, right? Yes, there we go. Oh, Symbio, you got a Wooloo! You know what would be really cool? If like the trainers oh my goodness. Okay, we're awake. Bella Kobe Flocky Jalopy. Hello, welcome on in. Thank you for rating. How are we doing? Black text block blah 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 blah. The black text block means stronger trainers and they use items. Okay. Well, I use hammer. Good, it's been so long. Yes, it has been. Welcome back. How you doing? 1 year, 2 months, 2 weeks, 17 minutes, 44 seconds. Holy macaroni. Savage, hello. Sir, you're kind of late. Mr. Popular, did you get invited to play with other people? Also, congratulations on getting to Route 8. I hope the route's actually fully done and that there's no extra bugs there, because otherwise y'all gonna be stuck there. If it's open, I'm assuming... If it's open, I am assuming that, it should be fine, but, you know, you never know. Ooh, the egg system. Yes, the little egg game is not so little anymore. Nitty, hello, welcome on in. I see you've lost the battle of the omelets, as Savage just called it. Did you take a nap or something? Battle of the omelets, hey. Why is Pikachu so cracked? I don't know. It's a Pikachu. I'm sure they want to make it easy. Golda, can you get out from inside of me, please? Thank you. I lost it in a moment of weakness. Oh no, Nitty. Did you get any more of the special eggs that were broken? Or was the one you got last stream the only one that the timer was broken for? Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Come on, I already feel lonely here. Yeah, Nitty, get addicted. Collection. And you can keep the link. You can keep the link. That link is yours, and no one else has that link. Or no one. Everyone else can click on that link, of course, but that link is for your specific collection page. It will not change. Yes, your very own link. You can keep it open, but sometimes you just need to refresh it. I'll be able to play much tomorrow or the day after that either. Oh no! You're gonna let Savage get an even bigger head start? Yeah, speaking of which, tomorrow or Sunday, because we did... it was supposed to have happened yesterday. But sadly enough, things did not go according to plan. And, yeah, things just did not go according to plan. So basically, no bugs were fixed. But, we hope to be able to fix them on Saturday. Natasha, are you gonna make a little posty after stream with your poster and refer the event thing on Discord? The list has changed since last time. Yes, it has. There's more things. There's also more routes you can walk on or hatch on, like a mother hen. Yeah, so I made a little thingy for Instagram to post tomorrow and on Sunday and on Monday or something along those lines. And I was thinking of just using that to post that on Discord as well. So, did Route 1 change though? No, he meant the page. the page changed. Don't think they meant the route themselves. Didn't I have Pokemon? Ah, okay, so here's the thing. We gave fair warning for this. If you didn't play, I think it was a couple of months ago. If you didn't ask for an egg a couple of months ago, you got reset. It was the only way to fix one of the massive bugs that were happening with the game. There is bingo. Yes, there is bingo. So that was probably when that happened, since you haven't been here in quite a while. So if you used to play a couple of months back and now you are at 0 Pokemon, that means that you got reset because you didn't play when you needed to not get reset. Oh, I guess we're fighting this thing. Okay. Okay. Did Tink just slide down the mountain? Okay. Is it gonna keep sliding down the mountain? I am somewhat confused. Okay. Okay. I'm doing education, no movie. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed your message, Nidhi. I read it now. Okay, fine, I won't boo you. So Saturday collection page will have a countdown. Not necessarily. We're focusing, okay, so basically, life's been kind of hectic when it comes to like, you know, life things. Not like Pokemon things. Life has been pretty hectic. So what is happening is we're focusing on bug fixes. We're focusing on fixing what is broken. Once those things have been fixed, then we will focus on adding all the quality of life updates. But first we gotta fix what's broken. Cause, you know, kind of a big deal there, huh? They're gonna torture me for 10 hours straight? 10 hours? Is that even allowed? Like, serious question, is that even allowed? It is? Oh my. So you're not sure if the timer can even be... No, the timer can be put on there. I'm just not sure if it's gonna happen this weekend. No, it's not a test sure thing. Like, my dad will have to program it in. That's why I'm saying, like, first we need to focus on fixing what's broken. And after everything that is broken is fixed, we can focus on adding quality of life updates. So that's kind of the order of priority that we're going for. So, sure thing eventually. Oh, no, it is happening. I just, at this time, I don't entirely know when. Oh, I got a prize. Stone Edge. Okay, cool. That's cool. That is cool. The auto page reloading and leaderboard, is that a bug fix? Yes, they are. Both of those things should be working and they're not. So yes they are. Where's my map app? My brain will burn. It's sort of a qualification course I'm doing and they schedule 1 class per day for this weekend and both last from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Okay, but do you at least get a lunch break? There's a Wigglytuff on the map. Oh, for crying out loud. Where are you, Wigglytuff? I mean, in the Pokedex it does says windy, so maybe it's not actually here. I don't know. Personally, I like making my program as complicated and confusing as possible and adding things even when I'm getting errors and hope it all fixes itself. I'm sure my dad somewhat does that too, but I don't know. He's currently working on version. Oh my god, it's so Wigglytuff! Come here. I don't have to evolve this thing if I catch it. I don't have to evolve it if I catch it. One last thing, one last thing. Do you know how to code? Bella asks. Okay, so no, technically I don't. I did do web design, and that does have some PHP and HTML and CSS involved, but that's been years ago, like actually 10 years ago, and I don't remember most of it. So, yes, my dad is the coder. It's not scheduled, but it would be inhumane for them not to give us break. Inhumane, yes. It would indeed be inhumane for them not to give you breaks. You gotta keep those breaks in there. Remind them that you need breaks. Try Python, it's easy. I'm not trying any of that. I am not trying any of that. I am staying away from coding altogether. It'd be cool if I actually knew what the hell I'm doing, but like when I was doing the web design course and they started teaching PHP basics, I just couldn't. CSS, HTML, yeah, we can figure that out. PHP, oh my good freaking lord, no, thank you. I can't do that. I thoroughly enjoyed going through Python. Chat GPT can just program things for you now. Can it though? Can it, Savage? I don't know if it can. Actually, yes. Oh my gosh. No, it tries. Okay, there we go. Spice came back up. I'm doing programming course. I'm giving myself 3 weekends to see if I want to finish it or resign. Oh wow, Nitty. I caught it! Imagine if Wigglytuff used metronome and got self-destruct. I just caught it. We are fine. I guess about errors in your code. I got the Wigglytuff, guys. I get to cross this off of my post-it. Goodbye, Wiggly. You are in the Pokedex. I don't need to evolve you. I'm happy. So it does spawn. It does indeed spawn. Like actually spawn. I'm happy. Bellacoke, you need to finish hatching and evolving your egg before you can get a new one. So just wait the 15 minutes and you can evolve your Badoo into a Rosalia. And so on. Wouldn't it be easy? And probably very confusing if you could just get multiple eggs at the same time. Thought you said my middle name? How am I supposed to know your middle name, Nitty? What? Say what the hell? Took me this long to find my version exclusive Tauros. I haven't found that one yet. No clue where that one would be, even. Marlo! Yeah. Yes, Savage. I know. But where's the purple thing? I think I mentioned it once here because it sounds almost exactly like a Pokemon's name. I don't remember that, but like, don't take my memory for that because, oh, y'all know how that fares. Who are you? No, I got you already. Gacorophiaphobia. What the hell is that supposed to mean? What am I saying? Like, genuinely, what did I just say out loud? Mammal says almost exactly like Rosalia. Oh! Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be something like Rosalina. Because that sounds close enough to Rosalia. In my opinion. Rosalia. Oh! I just went further away. You weren't on time today? No, I wasn't. I thought I was, but I wasn't. The little counter went into, oops, I guess I'm late. Yeah, I've been dealing with spice by accident. I've been dealing with spice by accident because the damn food pack spice. You know that thing I can't tolerate because I'm weak? Yeah, that. There was this teriyaki sauce noodles kind of thing. I was like, oh, fun. We can try that. And I looked at the packet, and nowhere near the packet, nowhere on it, did it say that it was spicy. So I was like, okay, cool, this must be safe. So I cooked it. I took the first bite. I was like, oh, this is pretty nice. I took the second bite. I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is pretty nice. And then the spice kicked in, and I almost died. And I had one slice of pizza left from the other day, and are any of you different? Y'all just keep running. How do I know if you're different if you just keep running? Oh no, y'all don't look different. So yeah, now every time I cough, some of the spice pops back up, and that was out of 2 bites of spice. So, you can tell how much greatness there is involved here, huh? Then the spice kicked in and I almost died. Yeah. Yeah. But everything changed when the Spice Nation attacked. Actually, no, but everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked is still valid here, because, like, spice is fire. Are any of you different colors? I don't think so. So yeah. Life's good, guys. Life's good. But yeah, so basically, I had two bites of spicy food and I nearly died. And I'm still pissed off that nowhere on the packet did it say that the food was spicy. I went to check the ingredients list. It says chili powder on the ingredients list. Now, why in the world would anyone that has chili powder as an ingredient not put the little spicy symbol on the packaging? I'm only 15 and I can have multiple bits of jalapeno. I have 0 spice tolerance. Don't come at me for this, bro. I have the spice tolerance of a 0-year-old. And yes, it is truly that horrific. have I fought this person yet? Ooh, we can fight this person. So that was lovely. And I started eating before Bruno. And Bruno was like, oh, it can't be that spicy because he knows I have 0 spice tolerance. So sometimes something is spicy for me, but it's not really spicy for him. Yeah, thank you, Savage. So he was like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. And then he took a bite and was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then the spice kicked in and he was like, oh, damn, this is actually spicy. So, ha, I wasn't being dramatic. I thought you said I have the, what? I have the, thought you said, have I, what? Bella, you are definitely confusing me. I thought you said I have flipped this. Have I flipped this person? How do, what, how, logic? What? Flip is yeah. Of course not. Of course not. We keep this PG. I'll say that like in person. But it's not a word I would say on stream. We try to keep this thing PG. I do not have enough water for this stream. I'm gonna have to go get water soon. But yeah, so I nearly died right before stream. I hope you guys are happy that I'm still here. What are you waiting for? I mean, I don't know. Try not to die here? Was that it? That was it. Can these Pokemon please start evolving? Did you know Albert Einstein was a real person? All this time I thought he was just a theoretical physicist. Okay, that's actually good. I like that one. I like that one. That's good. That's cool. That's cool. I like it. Oh, look, more bulls. Any of you look slightly different? No, not really. Did I fight you already? You have no balloon. I fought you already. Are any of you different? Nope. As long as the Tauros don't come at me, it's cool. But yeah. It has definitely... You don't play on stream, Super Meat Boy. No, I only play Pokemon. Oh, crap. I don't want to challenge this. Have I fought this person? Oh, balloon. Super Meat Boy. I only play Pokemon. That is all. But yeah. Do you guys want to hear about the absolute worst person that I've ever encountered parking a car? Because let me tell you, it's been quite the day. Between that and spicy food somehow, it's been a rough day. It's been a rough day. Oh yeah, Bella Coke, you can use the status command. It will tell you exactly what you need to know when it comes to the mini game. Well, if I'm not getting enough HP, guess what TV is called? Super Meaty Girl? I don't know. Beef jerky? Bandage. Why bandage? Wouldn't beef jerky be a better name? Like, they could be a jerky girl. I don't know. Just doesn't sound like that. Really makes sense. I should have known that. I played Isaac. I still don't know what game we're talking about. I've never... I'll be fair. I'm an idiot. And I probably sound incredibly sheltered sometimes. I did not play that game. What about the villain? I don't know. Chili Pepper? Dr. Fetus? I'm sorry, what? What does that have to do with meat? What? It's a fetus in a big suit. But the game is called Super Meat Boy? And the game with the name Super Meat Boy has only one character named after meat. Bandage has nothing to do with meat. And, neither do fetuses. Fetusi? Fetus? What's the plural of fetus? The walking sound for Super Meat Boy is super squishy and kind of unsettling. Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear that. Where do I have more? Out of this reaction, I feel like Tasha would be traumatized by Isaac. Listen, I have never, ever played this game. I didn't know that. I didn't even know it existed. I'm being honest. So I don't know who, what, where, when, why, or how. Things are the way they are, but sounds like a lot of it doesn't make sense. Sounds to me like a lot of it doesn't make sense. Also, why does it is the meaty boy, is the meat dude that emote that Bella Coke was using? Because if it is, it kind of looks like a car in that emote form. It is. I feel like that sort of looks like a car that has no wheels. Is that just me? Am I crazy? I mean, I know the answer to that. Don't answer that. Search it up. What does this have to do with meat? It looks like a clay doll. Like a doll made out of clay. The hell does this have to do with meat? The internet is a weird place. I'll leave it at that. Now, who are you? Ooh, I don't have this and I need this. Just because I'm an idiot. This is rock type, correct? Someone please confirm that this is a rock type thing. And also, can someone please help me with this? It's one less thing I have to evolve. If that is the case. Which is always appreciated. It's definitely not fire. That I do know for sure. Cloudfire has earthquake and water, so that would work. That would work. Can someone help me with this? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna make it on my own. Would anyone like to help me? Please? Coop will? Thank you! I appreciate you. It's rock, I'm loading up my game. Thank you. Wait, 2 minutes is enough, right? I can cancel. I can cancel and start again. Can I send you something? Am I gonna enjoy this something? Let me know when you're good to go, Symbio. I cannot relax. The last time I found a raid I wanted, and I backed out, it vanished. Give link. Okay. Here's the link. VJVP6V. Check the Discord. I checked Discord. Thank you, Savage. Oh my gosh. Bella needed this today. Yeah. It's the colors. Like, it's lacking colors. Not this chat. No, this chat is Bella Coke, not just Bella. So. But yeah. Let's get this thing. Oh right, already go. Is anyone else joining, or are we good? This original was way worse quality. Okay. Dude, can I? Symbio, you got me covered over here? I'm about to sleep, so have fun. Okay, bye, Nitty. Rest up and good luck this weekend. I hope it goes well for you and that you don't die. Also, bring snacks. I'll see you on Monday. It's trivia night. Get hyped. Okay, we're gonna start. Good night. You got this. You got this, Nitty. You got this. Nitty, be strong. Okay. Hello, ugly, tangled fur dude. A furry's best and worst nightmare. I would say. It's a rock type. Damn, Coop! Symbio doing all the damage here. I'm I'm trying to attack, but like, it's not popping up. Why is it not popping up? Oh, there we go. Is it always this laggy or slow and with the screen popping up? I haven't done enough raids to know. That was a lot faster. What the hell? That felt like it didn't do anything. Oh. Wait, where's my selection menu? Crew. Have you watched Red Dwarf? What's that supposed to be? Oh, I died. Boo! Doesn't ring a bell. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Actually, I've kind of got sucked back into the anime world. It seems like it's coming and going in phases. I started off with anime and for a couple of years, and then I went from anime for a couple of years to manga for a couple of years, and it seems I'm slowly creeping back up to anime. I'm currently watching Horimiya. I did not finish reading that manga, and I honestly don't remember too much of it because I really only read the manga like many years ago already. So getting to watch the anime has actually been fun. So Nico. Bella Coke, I need to start talking with words that actually make sense for me and like actually type stuff because I don't know what that is. But the whole cast of Red Dwarf, I still don't know what the premise of that is. Nobody will tell me anything. Okay. I got it. That's one less thing to evolve. Okay, so going through dens might actually be a good strat. Shanatic! Okay, so now I get to cross Grimmsnarl off. Hee hee! Yay. Let's see. Map app, show me where you got more things. Right there, apparently. Okay, I'm gone. Night night. Red Dwarf is a British science fiction comedy franchise created by Rob Grant and Doug Naylor, which primarily consists of a television sitcom that aired on BBC Two between 88 and 99 and on Dave since 2009, gaining a cult following. Okay. Cool, I guess. Good night, Nitty. Have good sleepies. Who are you? I got you already. The adventures of the last human being alive, Dave Lister, and his odd assortment of space friends, including the vain cat, the often confused ship computer, Holly, and... I'm sorry, why does that keep sounding more and more like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but like not as good? Genuine question. One of the last humans alive in a spaceship with a space computer. It sounds a lot like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to me. And the only book of those that I did not manage to finish reading was Mostly Harmless, which is the last one in the series, which is honestly incredibly confusing. I didn't get past chapter 3 on that one. So yeah. You can whisper to me and I can post it if it's okay. Oh, you're talking to Bella. Okay. You're talking to Bella Coke. Oh, it's in the compound situation thing. All right. Who are you? No, thank you. Oh, we're in Absorbable. That's a new item. Oh no, we're in the thing that has all the trees and the lags. Am I making sense? I feel like I'm making sense. Oh. The trees and the lag. The lag is real, guys. The lag is real. Tack tree thicket. It is thick with tack trees? Whatever that may mean. Ugh. It's this area in Lake Casaroya. Casarola? I don't know. They should hurry and send their real fix out. How long has this thing been out now? Finished it before they fix it. What does that tell you? Frick. Oh, you mean the update and the fix for the lag? I was like, I'm sorry, what are you complaining about here? I got lost. Yeah, the fact that I managed to fix the game before they fixed it, but no, the fact that I managed to finish the game before they fixed it is not a good sign. It took me 2.5 months to finish the game. So, Gecko Boy, hello, welcome on in. Oh, Bellacoke, I am not reading all that. I apologize, good human, but I will not be reading all that text. That's exactly what you meant. Yeah. It took a second to sink in. Took a second to sink in. Okay, if I fly over here, I can then go to that one over there. What are you looking for? I am looking for things in raid dens so that I don't have to evolve things. And I'm also looking for trainers that I haven't fought yet so I can get XP to evolve things. Because I'm stubborn and I refuse to use candies. Okay, Bellacoke, I'm gonna ask you kindly to stop posting entire synopsis of episodes in chat. It's a giant text block and yeah, just, you know, chill, please. Dedene. Where was the other? Oh, the other one's over here. Okay, cool. We go. I understand that you're excited about this show, but literally, aside from Symbio, I don't think anyone else has heard about it, so... Sorry. It's just not as interesting, I guess. The hell did I just do? Yo! Trying to climb the mountain, not go down the mountain. Also, Sam, hello, welcome on in, dude. Already looked at so many words tonight. The fewer words is also nice for my eyes. Yeah. This bypass. New QWERTY shirt, Predator, and white. Ooh, white. Okay. Oh no, wait, that's not it. I was like, how is this marked on the map? That ain't it. That's not it. Also, what is up with all of the sparkles? Did I do something to get sparkles? This doesn't look like snow. It literally just looks like sparkles. What's causing the sparkles? Did I do something? I should save. I should, it's diamond dust? What does that mean? Is that a weather condition? I don't know. No, black, I can't attempt to get it. It looks really nice to print. 2 applications from my dream career, and I've had to write out 2 personal statements. My brain is mushed. Okay. I think it's just special effects. Okay. Gosh, I can't keep up with chat. No, I can't. Listen, it's been a really long day, okay? Like, my brain basically... Listen, my brain cell basically got destroyed by a lady trying to park a car, okay? Like, I am not even joking. Like, I don't fully understand how someone can be this bad at parking a car and then complaining at me. I was parked. Why are you complaining at me? It's a type of weather for special day like your B-day, etc. What is your clock date? My clock date is the actual date. So... so yeah, it's definitely not my birthday today. My birthday is in a couple of months. So yeah. It's Friday now! Yes, it is! Send a message in sub-only mode, type your message below, and sneakily backwards to chat restrictions. Yeah, I haven't figured out how that works, Bellico. So... does it mean I can swear? Why would you want to do that, though? It could be because of Pokemon Days coming... Oh, yeah! I thought they were just here to celebrate my Twitch anniversary. Which just so happens to be on the exact same day by accident. You know, just absolutely... No, actually, it was actually, like, actually an accident. So yeah. I need to let it out. Well, let it out off of chat, dude. Wait, this could be something, right? This can be something. Oh, I hope this is something. Oh my gosh, this would be amazing. If this is a Palafin and not a Finazin, I'm gonna, oh my gosh, this is gonna be amazing. Wait, it's ice, right? It's ice. I need a fire. I need a fire. Hold on. Wait, if I have a fire, I won't. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Why can't I just think of a different word instead of the curse word? Okay, no, we're gonna try. We're gonna hope for the best. If I bring in a grass type, that's not gonna work towards ice though. I need a fighting type. You know what I actually need? I need Palmot. Okay. Palmot has fighting and Palmot has electric. So, should be good, I think. Okay, I'm gonna try to challenge this one alone. Yeah, Pawmi version 3. No, actually, if Pawmi went from Pawmi to Palmot, I'd be golden. You know, that I would not be mad at it. But there's the standing up Pawmi in between that literally just messes up the evolution line in my point of view. So, fighting would be ideal since it'll have water move regardless of its terra type. Palmot is definitely a good tip. Yay! Please have a heart, please have a heart. No! It doesn't have a heart. I am never gonna get as lucky as the other day. Also, the evolved method kind of gets your aggro. Well, Savage, allow me to tell you that Symbio has so kindly mentioned to me at the start of stream that the little beetle dude that's carrying its own poop, yeah, that's a 1000-step evolution and you can't get it in the wild. Like the tumbleweed. So... yeah. It's 10 for me in England. It's 10 for me in Portugal too. So yeah. Yeah, very, very fun, you know? Very, very fun. Just the most fun it can ever possibly be. Portugal? No, Portugal. I mean, I'm still gonna catch it. Because why the hell not? I don't know. I was hoping to have an extra heart. I understand with the problem of level up things and enjoying someone for you. Around that one. Okay, so it's not a problem. It's my stubbornness, Gecko. Basically, for the past 20-odd years, I have been playing Pokemon a certain way because I had no friends to play with. And even though I now have friends to play with, I still want to hold true to what's sort of become a tradition in Pokemon games, where everything I can do myself without the help of other people, aka trading, or in this current situation, the whole union thing, I will attempt to do myself. And without using candies. Because I'm a stubborn little girl. So I'm still gonna hold true to that. And if people are annoyed, well, so be it. If people don't understand, well, so be it. I am gonna have fun the way I've always had fun. And that is doing everything by myself. So, yeah. Bellacoke, I literally could not care less about football. So, sorry, I guess. Actually, I'm not gonna apologize. I literally could not care less about football. More things. I've checked that one. I've checked that one. Wait, does this thing just said that you could get... No, it's standing pommy. I was about to go nuts over here. I was about to go nuts. Oh, we can go with this one, and there's a dragon den nearby. So yeah. I have officially run out of water after this. Okay, who are you? And do you give me things? Oh, you already gave me things. That's fine, I guess. Asadu Desert. Roasted Desert is what this translates to. Who came up with these names? Genuinely. It's another one! Oh wait, this is 5-star. Hi, lovely people. This is a 5-star potential Palafin. Would anyone mind joining me just in case? Thank you. There's a chance. It's a 5-star. There's a chance. Thank you, Sam. Listen, the last time we had a 5-star one of these shadows, it turned out to be a Palafin, and I wasn't online, and when I went online, I lost it, and I couldn't defeat it by my lonesome. So, appreciate it. How can you say no to that? Thank you. Sasquatch has risen. I don't think I've been very sassy lately. I've just been tired mostly because I haven't been getting a lot of sleep. Oh, you haven't seen Sasquatch. No, you'll know when you know. You'll know when it happens. So yeah. She can do better than this. Oh, this is nothing. This is nothing. I almost, Sass Queen almost rose today with the lady that didn't know how to park. Like, I don't know if you guys are interested in hearing this disaster of a parking story, but if you are, let me know and I will tell it. Because honestly, it's ridiculous. Sam, let me know when you're good to go. Let me know when you can, when I can, no, blah, 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 blah. Let me know when I can start the timer. And I'm going in with Tink, because it's a dragon type and I got fairy moves. So, can't hurt me. No, not yet. Just connecting online and I'll be ready. Thank you! Thank you. Also, Savage. She can do better. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. She can do better. Dragon type Terra, I have a plan for this. Oh, okay. Sam's got a plan. Can I, do I do the thing? Yes, because it's in quotes. Bye. Okay, bye. Also, yes, such. Yeah. Ready! And the code is XR1TC8. Appreciate the help. Appreciate the help, good sir. XR1TC8. Oh yeah. Actually, I have two stories involving cars. One from yesterday and one from today. Now, I don't know anything about cars, so I don't know how much of the first story is gonna make sense, but yeah. Anyone else want to join a potential Palafin? You can tell your story if you want to. I will, okay? Because it's ridiculous and I feel like it should be on the internet. So basically, the first car instance. Wait. Is this a Palafin? Please be a Palafin. Please be a Palafin. Please be a Palafin. Please. I'll be so happy if it's a Palafin. Please. Yes! Oh my gosh, it's a Palafin! Ah! Let's go! Okay. It's a Palafin! I don't have to evolve this idiot! Perfect. Absolutely perfect. These raid dens are helping so much. Yay. Okay, now let me tell you the story about the car situation that happened yesterday. So I was going to my car after lunch because my car was parked and I was having lunch at home. And I clicked the little button on the key remote car thing, the little key thing, to open my car. And my car opened. But the car next to mine was also an Opel. And that one also suddenly started flashing those open lights. And I was just like looking around to see if there was like anyone in the area that could have been like closing the car. And I saw no one. I'm assuming that my car key opened someone else's car, but I had to go to work. I couldn't just sit around and wait. So, I left, and someone's car was potentially left unlocked. Now, I haven't seen this car since. It's not been parked on the street since yesterday. So, I don't actually know if if it got stolen or anything. It didn't. Okay, so here's the thing. The problem is that the key from my car only works like 50% of the time. So I don't actually know if it worked or not. Heal up? Is this Sam? Is this what you meant? Did you try closing it? That's not... I know, you meant try closing the other car, but I didn't want to touch the car and then suddenly have alarms beeping off, you know? Actually, that might have been a good idea if I had done that. That was kind of dumb, I realize that now. I should have made an alarm go off. But then, like, what if it wasn't my key? Like, what if it wasn't my key that opened the car in the first place? Because I couldn't even tell if the car was open or closed. Because it doesn't have to... You know how previous cars had the little thing that, like, if it's closed, it's, like, down, and if it's open, it's, like, up? Well, cars nowadays don't have that thing, so, like, I can't tell if a car is open or closed. I assume I opened it, but maybe someone was, like, at a balcony and, like, closing their car because they weren't sure? I don't know. Didn't have... Yeah! You know the little thingamajig on the door? That, like, if the car was open, the thing would be popped up, and if the car was closed, the thing would be popped down. Like, that thing. Like, cars nowadays don't have that thing. Cut it way too close. But we did it, thank you, Sam! Why keep a helpful thing around? Exactly! Like, why? Also, if the car for some reason wouldn't lock, you could just do like, poop, the door lock, and then close the door. And now you can't do that anymore. So, it's just sad. It's just sad. So yeah, so I went to work and I spent the rest of the... Oh my gosh, what are those? Those are sparkly. Why are they different colors if they... Oh, they say different things. Okay. I was like, oh my god. I need to go get more water. Give me a second. Such an idiot. I am such an idiot. Yeah. Yeah. I was saying, I was trying not to die there. And then you said market, and I was like, market? Okay, which one's that? It's number 10. Okay. I need more water. Hello there. They can help you make sandwiches to boost shiny chance depending on the sandwich you make. Salty is the most highly sought after herb of the 5. Oh! Same rate gets the same rewards. Okay. Rainbow was not even enough. It is something to bonk you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so okay, cool. I got whatever the most sought after thing is. Apparently I got that. You can only get the herbs tier 5 and 6 rates, but they are quite rare. I found one and it had a palafin. And now it's going in the Pokedex and I don't have to evolve this thing. I'm very pleased with that. I'm satisfied by this result. It's in the box and I don't ever have to look at ugly again. Now. Also want to say if the car is new, they don't have the thingy. Trying to the handle might have triggered something. Yeah, I was just like, I don't wanna trigger an alarm, because like, what if I wasn't the one to open the car? What if it's just a coincidence that it happened at the same time? I'm too much of a wuss to even attempt that. So I was like, okay, no, I'm just gonna leave and go to work and then hope that I'm not the one that opened that car and that someone might actually have been trying to close their car from like a balcony or something. Because like, literally there was no one else on the street. So like, I feel like it might have been me, but you know, I don't know. It could have been me, but at the same time, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just a coincidence. I don't know. So yeah, that was my little adventure at lunchtime yesterday. And yeah, well, I mean, I haven't seen that car since, so like, I don't actually know if that car was like someone that came into like one of the shops around here and they just parked the car there, or if it was like, I don't know, someone that actually like lives here. Because if it's someone that lives here, like, I don't see their car anymore. So I don't know. Probably a coincidence. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of curious to know, but at the same time, I don't want to know. Because, like, then if they live in my street, they'll be like, there's another person that can unlock my car. And honestly, that's kind of terrifying. Like, can you imagine just living someplace where there's another person that can literally unlock your car? Those are not fun days. That's not fun times. So yeah. Oh, that was the one we checked just now. So yeah. Let's go over here. There's 2 more raids over there. But yeah, so that was basically the first car adventure, so to say. I wouldn't really call this one an adventure per se, but you know, first car situation. And then the second one happened today. So I was basically doing some chores for work, which had me go to different places. And 2 of those places were in the mall that's nearby. So there was a parking spot outside, which is, first of all, very rare. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna park my car outside. It's a nice sunny day. My car could use some heat since the heater doesn't work. So, you know, let's go do that. Oh, this person I haven't fought yet. So yeah, so I parked my car outside, and there were like, when I parked my car, there were like 5 different parking spots around me. Like 3 of them were like right next to my car. I was like, okay, no, this is fine. So I went, I did my stuff, I did what I had to do, I came back, and I got in my car, and once again, when I was getting in my car, there were like 5 or 6 4 to 6 parking spots around that same area that were just free, including the parking spot next to mine. Now, I put the stuff that I had in the car, and then I walked around and I entered the car from the other side. In the meantime, there was this pristine white, clearly just out of the wash BMW with a lady driving it. Now, I don't want to judge people, but right now I am going to. This lady was wearing the wrong shade of red lipstick for her skin tone and had those big hoop earrings. And you could just tell, like, she exuded sass, okay? She exuded sass. And you can tell, like, this person, just by the way they treat their car, they didn't know how to drive. I'm just straight up gonna say it. They don't know how to drive. Like, anyone that parks like that just doesn't know how to drive. I'm sorry. I'm convinced. I basically sat in my car for 5 minutes while this lady tried to park her car in the parking spot next to mine. And when I say park the car, I do not mean parking the car in reverse. She was trying to park the car front first, and it took her 5 minutes. Now, at some point, she backed up enough. And I was like, oh, maybe she realized I want to leave. So I start backing up. And then she honks. I was like, I'm sorry, what the hell? And then there's like these dudes, these like little beggar dudes that like just stand all day along the parking lot. Along parking lots and like try to direct people to empty parking spaces in the hopes to get like some cash from them. And this dude just full speed runs up to my car, starts like bonking on the back of my car. Like, bro, as if the lady honking wasn't enough, now you're bonking on my car? Are you serious right now? So then again, I stood still. And when I say I started backing up, I must have backed up like maybe 10 centimeters. Like, it wasn't even enough to spin the wheels, so to say. And this lady just started honking. And I was just like, okay. And then I waited for her to park because I am a decent human being. She parked her car front first. And then she just does this, okay? Imagine this is the car. She just goes. I'm just like, what the hell? I'm sorry. What are you trying to do? Wanna fight me about how to park a car? Because I can teach you. So like, just so that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not judging people, but I'm judging her in this point, because like a woman with the wrong shade of red lipstick, big hoop earrings, in a pristine white, clearly out of the wash BMW car, and they park like that? I'm sorry, no. Stereotypes be damned. She is the epitome of the stereotype. Okay, like she is like the highest standard of that stereotype. I'm just like, are you kidding me right now? You don't know how to park? I thought you were doing a courtesy to me because like you've been at this for 5 minutes and you still haven't managed to park the damn car? And you saw me get in the car, because I know they saw me get in the car. So I'm just like, really? Really? You're gonna do this? Like, that was just... I drive BMW to show people that they are also BMW people, to show people that there are also BMW that know how to drive a car. Yeah, no, this lady was the epitome of stereotypes. And also, like, I looking at her, I could tell that she was trying her best to look fashionable. I just don't think she knew how to do that, because I may not wear makeup, but there's a very simple thing called color theory, where you just don't match certain shades with other shades, and that was the wrong shade of lipstick for that lady, okay? Red lipstick works on everyone, but you have to be having the right shade of red. I don't care. Y'all can come at me. I'm not a makeup artist. All I know is red lipstick looks good on everyone. You just need the right shade of red. If you have the wrong shade of red, it's gonna look bad on you. I don't care. Some people buy fast cars and they have zero control over it. Yeah, this lady does not know how to park a car. And I'm just like, you're funny. I just really like the BMW. Hey, listen, one of my dream cars, and I say one of because there's more than one, would be a convertible BMW. I think those, like with the hard top, I think those look so cool. But, yeah, there ain't no money for that for me. Yeah, exactly, and drive it like a normal person. Yeah, no, it's just... I don't know. My model has a hardtop version. Yeah, I don't actually remember what the model is, because I don't know cars. I just know it's a hardtop, top-down BMW. It looks really pretty, like, what can I say? I just don't know models of cars. It looks good or it doesn't look good. There's no in between. But yeah. Can't really talk cars if I don't know what cars are. Like this one. Let me see. Yeah, something along those lines. Something along those lines. Color as well. I think that was black? Wait. Oh gosh. Is this black or is this... This is more like a graphite. Yeah, I like this color. Wouldn't mind it be a little bit lighter, like a little more towards like silver. But yeah, not bad. I know silver scratches fast, but like it's a good color. Mineral gray, what's it called it? Okay, but what's the difference between mineral in cars? What's the difference between mineral gray and graphite? Which one's darker? Why is this lagging so much right now? Holy macaroni. Oh, there's like two over here. You could just jump to one and then go to the other. Graphite more bluish? Yeah, so it has a hint of blue. Like it has a blue undertone, I think. Which I like, because I like blue. I just don't like blue on cars. Like, blue is literally my favorite color, but I don't like blue cars per se. I would not buy a blue car. So like graphite is like a nice mix. It's like gray, but it has like the blue undertone. I don't like blue on cars. Like I like the blacks, the grays, the silvers. Graphite is a good color combination simply because it's like the gray with the blue undertone, which I like. Wait, where's the other one again? Oh, the other one's over here. Wrong way. If it was available on the non-sport version, I would have gotten... Can I go up here? Yo, I can go up here? I can go up a river, guys. What the hell? Floating up a river, boys. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, so this is a nice color. I just would not want to have a car this color. Like me personally. I would not want to have a car that color. Wait, where's the red? Oh, it's down here. I'm just weird. Like, I really like cars of like... How can I tell if this is the Taurus I already have or the Taurus that I still need? Is there a way to tell? Like, there's people that have, like, those, I don't know what they're called. I just call them ultraviolet cars. Where depending on, like, the light outside, the car seems like it's changing color. I think that's the closest you can get to a car being rainbow without it being too, you know? Yeah. And again, I really like the lime green color on my former car, Seat Ibiza, but I had it in black. Yeah, so here's the thing, like, I enjoy colorful cars for other people. For myself, I'd rather keep them, like, more neutral. I don't know if this is the right Taurus, but we're gonna try. It seems to be a dark type. So for dark type, what do we use against dark type? Wait, you send me a cheat sheet. It is dark type. What do I use against dark type? Because it's not fairy, is it? Oh gosh. I'm gonna go check the other cheat sheet. What is... Bug fairy. Oh, it is. It is thing. Okay, so I guess I could just keep Tink. Oh gosh. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. I wonder if I can do this one alone. Why is this link so long? Aren't they all? Hang on. Okay. I will hang on. Actually, no, I will sit tight. Because I don't have the arm strength to hang on to anything. I hope this is the right Taurus. I don't think this is the right Taurus. Yeah, this doesn't look like the right Taurus. Oh wow, that is really green. That is really green. Yeah, I would not have one of those for myself. For other people, yeah, have at it. Lovely, fabulous, but for me? Also, the red BMW looks... I actually don't like that one at all. I think red on cars is the one color that I truly dislike. It doesn't matter if it's other people or... I mean, like when I say red, I mean the standard red. I do not mean the more fancy shades of red that you can sometimes... The, like, custom shades of red. I don't mean those, because those can look really nice. But the standard red that comes with cars, I really don't like that. I really, really don't like that. Contrast with the black lights is not nice. Yeah, no, I don't think red is a good color on cars, like the standard red. This link is not working, dude. I don't know what you just did, but it ain't working. I think you just sent me half a link. Not the clicky part. Let me just copy paste it, just a sec. Yeah, see, this is the standard red. I don't like this color on cars. Like, give me a cherry red, give me a candied red, give me literally like a Bordeaux, or just not the standard shade of red. I don't like the standard shade of red on cars. It just doesn't look good, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. That's only worth so much. Well, that crit was not necessary, lady. Okay, so this was a 4-star, right? So I could do 4 stars by myself. Cool. Alright, I forgot to cross off Pelican. Don't need to like, we could talk about this. Yeah, no, I know. That's why I always say, like, my opinion is only worth so much. Like, if you feel like my opinion is worth some? Like, if you value my opinion, then my opinion is I don't like red on cars. If you don't value my opinion for this instance, then, you know, it's not gonna make a difference what my opinion is. That's just how it works. They made new colors. Ooh, oh my, that actually, I like that shade of blue. That's a good blue. Purple. Purple is such a fun color on cars. You don't see many purple cars. Purple is such a fun color. For cars. It's also one of my favorite colors. It's like in my top 3. Okay, let's see where to go now. Oh, there's like 2 right next to each other over here. You're joking? About dark purple. Okay, so my top 3, at the very, very top, blue. Love blue. Like 90% of shades of blue, gimme. After that, we got purple and yellow. Blue, you don't say. C shirt. Yeah, it is actually the color shirt that I have the most of, oddly enough. Which is not very odd at all if you know me. Yeah, no, but blue is like all-time favorite. Can't go wrong with blue. And then after that, I got purple and yellow. And of course rainbow, but that's not a color. Our blue socks as well. Actually. Actually, yeah. Actually, yeah. My socks are Gyarados today. It was not on purpose. It's literally the first socks I grabbed out of the drawer. So, yeah. Darker blue socks as well. Okay. That was not planned. That was not planned. Also, these are the socks that are within my socks because I have the little comfy anti-slip socks on. And those are Christmas red. Yeah, I was, yeah. No, the rest is not blue. It's just like, am I wearing anything else blue today? The rest ain't blue. It was literally the headphones. Yes, the headphones, true. Headphones are indeed blue. The headphone, I think out of my equipment, the only things that aren't a solid color, or the only things that are a solid color are my headphones, my screens, and the controllers. That's about it. Headphones, screens, and controllers. Everything else is rainbow. That's true, sucks to be you. Dude. Dude. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did not see the sock situation coming. Actually, I didn't even know I was wearing blue socks, if I'm being honest. Like, I had to check. Because I wasn't sure if I was wearing blue socks or not. So yeah. Because, like, when I wake up in the morning, I open my sock drawer, I pick up whatever is on top, and then I put that on my feet. So yeah, if I got it right 2 times in a row. Because, like, I have, like, a 12 set. I have, like, 12 pairs of Pokemon socks. In all kinds of shades and colors. And today I just so happen to be wearing Gyarados. Which is blue. I did not see that coming, dude. Okay, so gonna... check. I'm gonna be honest here. I think the accidentally spicy food kind of destroyed my throat. Like, I did not have this cough before dinner. And now I do. So, yeah, that's lovely. Just fantastic. Have been better off with milk than no. I mean, I still had one leftover slice of pizza. And that's cheese, so that was fine, I guess. Milk pizza, basically. No, it's not. But, like, cheese is based off of milk, so... you know? I thought it would be fine. And it was, and then I just supplemented it with a piece of chocolate. Just to be safe. Because... sweet, you know? And I was having, like, honestly, like, you don't understand, like, when it's... So, I'm the kind of person that I have a drink with my meal. Bruno is the kind of person that doesn't drink anything while they're eating. So I had a glass of Coke with my meal today. And that came very much in handy because sweet. And I feel like sweet kind of helps counter spicy. So that was good. So I had the sweet of the Coke, I had the cheese of the pizza, and then I had a piece of chocolate, which is again sweet. But every time I cough, I still feel some burn coming back up. Sweet of the Coke. Yeah. Because they're sweet. Because there's sweetness. Also, there's a tower here and it's not a fly point? Have I never been to this tower? Got lost in the conversation. Hey, that's your own fault. You're basically giving Niddy an opportunity to get to your level. Your route, I should say. It's not called level. But yeah. Yo. I still have 6 more questions to make pretty and figure out answers for them. And then I will have all 65 trivia night questions ready to go. So I hope you are excited. I'm gonna make the deadline. I was honestly scared for a moment that I wasn't gonna make it. but I did. Getting close. It only took me like 2 weeks to prepare. You know? No biggie. Yeah, and I ended up having to change, I think, 5 or 6 of the original Pokemon that I had on my list. Because the Google Translate either was too close to the original, non-translated sentence, or it was just way too easy. And I'm already making things multiple choice, so I can't really make it too easy. So yeah. We're getting closer. Monday's the day. Could you believe it? Let's see. Oh, there's like another rock over here. Of course you can make it easy. Well, listen, considering that there's a chance that I might have to do something I really don't want to do, actually multiple somethings that I really don't want to do, I am not gonna make it easy on y'all. I'm sorry, but I'm just not. Okay? It's already multiple choice, so, you know, deal with it. Be done in 20 minutes. Expect you to do things you... Well, I expect... nothing. I expect nothing. Technically, I expect nothing. I have zero honestly, I really, really hope that you guys actually have fun with it. That's all for a second. No, I froze. The camera didn't freeze, I froze. No, I really do hope that you guys end up, like, actually having fun. And it not just being like, oh yeah, let's just humor her, you know? If it ever gets to that point, please, for crying out loud, tell me. I want people to actually have fun. I don't want people to just humor me because she's missing a few brain cells. Let's see. We have another one over here. Which is that way. So yeah. I really do hope you guys enjoy it and like it actually makes people laugh. Like that would be ideal. Like if these things actually, because like some of the Pokedex entries only got translated. Blah, blah, blah. Some of the Pokedex entries only got only went through the translate thing like maybe 10 to 15 times, and then there's other ones that in order to get a different result went through the translate thing like maybe 30 or 40 times. So I really did try to make it the best I could possibly make it. I really hope it shows. I'm sure it'll be a great time. I mean, listen, judge me when you have a great time, okay? Let me know when you do have a great time. Where am I? Can I just, like, get the map back to, like, north is north? Thank you. Oh, there's, like, a bunch of them over here. Gonna head off now as I'll need to wake up early for Hoenn tour. A group of us are going for a big breakfast tomorrow before such. Oh, right, that's tomorrow. I haven't bought my Jirachi ticket yet. I need to go do that after stream. That might actually be a solid idea there. So, we'll catch you guys soon. Bye, Sam! See you soon! Ooh, Flare Blitz. Cool. Well, without the event, I'm already enjoying being here. Make of that what you will. Okay, but like, I mean the event. That doesn't look like burnt toast to me. I mean the event. Because it's like, it's a different thing. I'm sorry, is there a thing in the middle of water? Oh no, it's on a rock in the middle of the water. Gotcha. Cool. Right, and I mean even without the event. Okay, but I'm talking now specifically. Specifically. I am making up words right now. I am talking now specifically about the event. Like regular streams, I don't care if they're boring. I'm playing a game and I'm having fun playing the game. But like these kind of like more like event kind of streams, I really do want those to be like enjoyable for everyone. They are high effort streams. Actually, no, all streams I do put work into. But you know what I mean. I do try to make every single stream the best as possibly can be. Sometimes I'm just tired, and then might just be a little bit boring sometimes. Have I fought that trainer? I feel like I've fought every trainer in this area. So yeah, probably did fight that trainer. I'm not even gonna go check. I am banking a lot on like these freaking Raydens giving me the Pokemon that I need, but I should probably get on to fighting things so I can evolve things, right? How far to level these things up? Okay, that needs like 1700. Oh, that's gonna take a lot. And that's gonna take a lot too. I need to fight more people! I haven't fought this person. Let's go. I'm not even reading what these people are saying. I'm just fighting these people head on. Just straight up. Fight. Help me? Oh, this is gonna be easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Actually, if I have lucky eggs, I might be able to put lucky eggs on those Pokemon and try and get more XP out of it. I should have been doing that from the start. I'm a freaking idiot. Where's things? Oh, if you're wondering, I sent a screenshot on Discord to get link for it, but deleted it. Ah, okay. I was like, what is this image? Like, what is this image notification? Ooh, I have one lucky egg. Okay, we're gonna put this on... Oh. This dude. Yup. Can you actually see the levels of things? Oh, it's a level 15. Might I have other trainers that I have not yet fought? Yes. Safri Popo? Hello, welcome on in. Hi. How we doing? Oh, also, I can't believe I would... I can't believe... It's a Ditto! Oh, this dude fights with a Ditto? Okay. I can't believe I would send you a picture of a walking stick. Dude, I got so confused by that. Like, honestly, like, I thought, okay, so here's what my brain did. Okay, it was a picture of a walking stick next to a picture of a grabbing stick. Okay, and in my brain, those two items were one item and the same. So it was a walking stick that had an end that you could grab things with. Now, the pictures didn't look the same, so I got really confused because, like, does it come in different colors? And how do you walk with the grabby thing on the floor? And how do you grab the thing if the grabby thing is like not a... There was like a whole like 10 seconds where all of these thoughts went into my head and I was just like, I don't fully understand what's going on here. Did you do any of the Pikachu raids yet? No, I have been trying to do /find raids that will help me complete the Pokedex without having to evolve a bunch of Pokemon. So that has been my that's kind of been my my process here. I wasn't gonna Photoshop out that walking stick just for a goof. I mean, honestly, I just got really confused. What can I say? I thought it was one and the same item. I forgot that Aldi does that sometimes. What else is there? I mean, those glitches were new. Did you see the flying glitches? Like just like that glitch? Did you see that glitch? That was a glitch. I think. Wait. Are you Shine? Nah, you are not Shine. Wait. What, wait? Wait about what? It was like... I don't know. That's the way it looked. What Pokemon are you missing? I am missing the entire Fuecoco evolution line. I have Fuecoco, I just need to evolve it. Colossal, Mux, Skuntank, Rapska, Crocodile, Salamence, the evolution of Dracloak, both evolutions of Larvitar, Palossand, Slowking, Dragalge, both evolutions of Dino, and Baxcalibur. So we are working on it. It is getting worked on. But also I'm in a very low level area of the map and I should probably go to a slightly more high level. Oh wait, there's like things I can fly to over here too. You're too funny. I was just copying what the thing did, dude. Nothing funny about that. I was just copying things. Do you give me things? Ooh, that means I got a bunch of trainers to defeat over here. Let's go. Where are the peoples at? Where are the people at so I can fight them? But also, do you give me things I don't have? No, I got you already. Oh. I swear, one day I will stop misclicking all the buttons. You would think that they would have been here by now, considering I've only been playing on the Switch for the past 2 years. But no. Actually, technically it's been for the past like 3 or 4 years, considering I started playing on the Switch way before I started streaming, but regardless, you would think that I would not misclick buttons. Yeah. It would have been nice, wouldn't it? And I don't think I'm gonna be able to evolve, well, anything, really, today. I mean, we did get, like, 3 more entries of the Pokedex today, which, lovely, but, I don't know. It's taking a lot longer than I thought it was gonna take. We are doing evolutions and Pokedex completion in hard mode. No candies allowed. Do you have more Pokemon that I can defeat? That's a no. That is a no. But there is one more den over there. And this one's white. Because it's a normal type. For some reason, normal types are white. Oh, it's an Indeedee. Indeedee? Dedede? Maybe we can do the Pokemon League a bunch of times. Yeah, Like how, actually, how far up do the levels go for the gyms? Like once you've defeated the Elite Four, how much do the gym levels increase? Like just in general. Does it just increase by like 10 or 20, or does it go like above level 60 for everything? Because like there kind of is a gym like right here that I could potentially challenge. But if it's gonna be above level 60, I'm gonna struggle, and I really don't want that. Is 65 like for all gyms, or like it starts like the first gyms you do from the first area start at 65 and then it keeps going up until you get to like, I don't know, 90? All 65. Well, then these babies will die. Some of them are still in the 40s, so... And even if I bring some tanks, it's not really gonna do much good. Okay, I already got you. And then there's another ghosty one over here. It's a tandem mouse with one child. Wait, is this the rare one? Is the one child the rare one, or is the two children the rare one? It's the one child, right? And it's a ghost type. So yeah. Actually, I might actually even use Tink, because Tink actually transforms into a normal type. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it alone. It's a 4-star. I need to start proving that I can do 4 stars alone. That I'm strong enough. Because I'm usually pretty weak, if I'm being honest. I like to one-shot things, so I always overlevel, but sometimes I just don't overlevel enough. You're buying the shirt. Wow, has staring at it convinced you, Savage? Staring at the shirt convinced you to buy the shirt. And I say I'm weak? Been a while. Yeah, I get that. I am worthy. Yes, you are, sir. Wait, does the one little mouse just hang from the side? I wish I could see more, but there's an entire hammer in front of me. Oh, the little kid just stands behind it. See more? Hammer? Are you trying to make a hammer situation happen, sir? Oh, shield. Don't use foul play? Why not? It's super effective. Dude, you should have enough experience to know that whatever you feel is kind of tame, I can make it 10 times worse because I don't realize stuff. That's worse. Actually, is it though? Because like one is referring to the butt of an actual person, and the other one is just saying like in general you see more butts. I feel like that's more tame. Hey, we broke a shield. And I'm getting bullet seeded. Even way worse. I know! I still have the 2-meter wooden beam in the corner over there. That you guys let me talk about for like 5 minutes before. Y'all made me aware of what I was saying. Just don't understand things, okay? All right. Not the beam. Where? Not the bees. Oh, I'm yawning already. I'm actually pretty tired. I am considering ending stream soon, guys, because I'll be honest, I'm tired and I'd like to watch the final 2 episodes that I have to watch for Hoodie Mia. So I might actually just do that. I don't think I'm gonna evolve anything today anyways. It would have been nice, but alas. It seems it is not in the cards. Okay, so now I have the 3 mice and I have the 1 mice. I have the 3 mice and the 4 mice. Oh, Safri Bobo, thank you so much for following. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay. I am going to find a high-level area, which is most likely going to be Area 0. I am gonna battle the first 3 Pokemon that are in this area. Yes, Safri Popo, welcome to confusion. We're all confused here and nothing makes sense. Except the rare occasion when it does somehow make sense. But even those don't really make sense. Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to Area 0. I'm going to fight the first 3 Pokemon I encounter in here. And then I'm gonna end stream. You're confused. Yes, that is how this works. And then I'm gonna end stream. And I will be back on Monday with my 2-year anniversary, 2-year Twitch anniversary trivia night featuring Pokedex entries that were passed over through Google Translate a bunch of times and none of them really make sense. So yeah. And I'll be announcing the prizes for it during this weekend. The prizes. They're not really prizes. They're more like rewards and punishments for that during this weekend. So that's either gonna be Saturday or Sunday. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But yeah. It's gonna be fun. I hope it's gonna be fun. I put a lot of work into this. I hope it's gonna be fun for everyone. It's also coincidentally Pokemon Day, and we're getting the whatchamacallit. We're getting the Can I fight you? Stop. Can I fight you? Can I fight you? I cannot aim. Oh, there we go. I just had to complain that I can't aim to be able to aim. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy Monday stream. I put a lot of thought into it, like more thought than I have for last year's anniversary stream. So I really do hope you guys enjoy it. I really like the way like the whole like trivia setup turned out. I made it all on Canva. It's been a lot of work. I hope you can see that. I hope it turns out well. I'll be really happy if you guys enjoy it. You will be judged. Oh my gosh, we are getting an evolution today! Yay! We're gonna end up strong. Evolved, evolved, evolved. Yay! I can cross that off my list now. I have a list on a post-it. Drakloak. Check. Now I can replace this with a Rapska. Which apparently needs to walk 1,000 steps. We all know how that went last time. It took me like 1,000,000 steps before that thing finally evolved. And with that thing, we mean standing Pommy. It took forever, man. It took me like, what, 3 tries? 4 tries? To finally evolve into Pawmot? That's not fun. I don't want a repeat of that, but I guess we're gonna have to do a repeat of that. If I could just, like, fight another Pokemon and just have another level up. Oh? 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 No? Okay, but like, maybe, I don't know what level things evolve at, so, but the other dude was like really close to evolving as well, or to leveling up as well, so maybe leveling up means evolve, and I can finish strong with 2 evolutions that we've been grinding for the entire stream. Might be nice. Okay, Artabax, are you going to evolve for me? No? No, you're not, huh? Oh. Okay. Okay, so I need to go find a beetle. I'm gonna replace the beetle because if I don't do that right now, I'm going to forget to do that for next time, which is next week. What's the thing called? Rapska? No, Rapska is the one I need. What's the beetle called? Shelgon is at level 50. Oh. What's the beetle called? I don't actually know what the beetle is called. I can't look the beetle up like this because I don't know what it's called. Oh, wait, I found one. It's right here. Crap. Okay. Actually, if Shelgon's at level 50, I'm like 2 levels away from it. If we just defeat a couple more Pokemon, it has a lucky egg on. It might actually do things. So, I'm just gonna go do that. I want to just get it out of the way. Pass the lucky egg to someone else. Speaking of evolve, yeah, you got yourself a Hatterene. Wait, did that not deal enough damage? Oh, it didn't. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think if we defeat one more Pokemon, we might actually get the Sheldon done. Shirt order, yay! Sheldon done. It's actually Shelgon. But Sheldon done. Okay. So we're at 49. Sure, I'll teach this thing dig. I don't know why you want to dig when you have a mud ball or crap ball. But sure. Okay. Need a couple more big boys. Fight me. I think 2 or 3 more of these. Like, I've just leveled up so we can really see how much XP these things can give. Oh right, I'm paralyzed. I forgot to heal. I don't know why you'd want to dig when you have a mud ball. Hey, everything I say can be taken in a whole different direction if I say it out of context, so. Okay, so one of those dudes, if I defeat 4 of those dudes, I am golden. I can evolve the Shelgon. Hey, hi! Hi, chicken! Because that looks like a chicken to me. The booster energy was... Wait, these things... carry items? Since when do wild Pokemon carry items that they can use in battle? It's a Duff Chicken? I'm not saying that out loud. I am not saying that out loud, sir. Okay, I need to unparalyze Tink. Just Paradox? Oh. I thought, we came up with that on Belly. Oh my gosh. Don't apologize. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that out loud. That's all. Okay, so only the Paradox Pokemon can use items. Sure. I'm certain that makes perfect sense. It's a dove? No, it's a chicken. It's a dove chicken. I don't know why that's reminding me of, you know, a couple of years back there was like the pen pineapple apple pen thing. Does that make sense? The pen pineapple apple pen? Yeah. I have a pen. I have an apple. Pen pineapple apple pen. Nothing makes sense. That entire song does not make sense. But also, the word pineapple doesn't make sense. So... like your streams. You know it. No, but if you think about it, the word pineapple doesn't make sense. It's not an apple. It's not from the apple family. It's not a pine. It's not from the pine family. It also doesn't grow from a tree. So it has neither in common with both of those. So why is it called a pineapple? Literally every other country named it ananas. Ananas. You know what also doesn't make sense? What doesn't also make sense? Because there's a lot. Savage? Yes! Let's go! That was a primal scream there. Yay! Got myself a Salamence. That's going in a box. Really? Isn't that without even looking, you start saying everywhere it's ananas? I mean, but it's true though. Actually, I'm not entirely sure if ananasi and abacaxi are the same thing. I'm pretty sure they aren't. But they might be, and if they are, then Brazil says it both ways. Okay, what else do I need to evolve? So we got the Salamence. I think we go for Fuecoco now. Where's Fuecoco? Artibax is at level 54. Okay, but that's like 5 levels away from where I'm at, so. Where is Fuecoco? That's an E. I don't want E. I want F. Fuecoco. Where's the little dude? There he is. Also? Oh no. Should I be scared? Snake. It's... So here's the thing. If you're referring to Trevor Noah, I know exactly what you're talking about. If you're not referring to Trevor Noah, I have no clue what you're talking about. It's in the Badgers. So you don't know what I say when I say, like, if you're referring to Trevor Noah. Okay. Why does it have a candy? Oh, I don't actually know. Wait, Symbio, did you? Wait, does this thing have pickup? Because this was an egg, so it's not like Symbio could have given me the candy by accident. It has Blaze. Wait, Symbio, did you give me the Fuecoco or was this an egg? This was an egg, right? Oh no, wait, this was from Nitty. Damn, Nitty gave me the Excel candy? We need to talk to Nitty. She might need the Excel candy back. I have no use for it. Nitty too good. Nitty too good. Well, I'm gonna keep it there. Anyway. Guys, I'm gonna end stream. I want to finish watching my 2 episodes of Horimiya and then go to sleep. So ending early. I never said I was gonna end early. I said I was gonna end soon. There's a difference there. Much so on time. Yeah, 20 minutes ago. Yeah, don't I usually give a 15 to 20 minute warning before I go end stream? So y'all have time to find something else to watch? Usually I say that. Yeah, I do. I say I'm gonna end stream soon, and then it's like 15 to 20 minutes later. Have you not noticed this before? Because I've been doing it for ages now. Yeah, I do. I really do, though. Let me put you guys on full screen. Don't teach Safety lies. No, but like for real, I usually say I'm gonna end stream soon, and then it's like 15 to 20 minutes later. That's just the way it is. I'm doing this so that Pokemon don't run into me by accident. I want to end stream. I don't remember that at all. Well, then your memory must be just as messed up as mine. Because I literally do this, if not every stream, like almost every stream. Like almost every single stream. So yeah. It's your fault. Well, no one asked you to live in my brain. No one asked you to place a couch inside my brain and live there. So yeah. Anyways, lovely people. But, no buts. A person only has one butt. And some of them are big and chunky, and some of them are non-existent. 2 cheeks, though. Actually, technically 4. Because you have the 2 cheeks down there and the 2 cheeks up here. Anyway. Okay, guys. But only 2 butt cheeks. That is true. That is true. You got 2 cheeks and 2 butt cheeks. Time to end stream. Okay, lovely people. I will be back on Monday with my 2-year anniversary special Pokemon Trivia Night, where rewards or punishments can happen. We have a little multiple choice Pokedex entries through Google Translate multiple times and back to English. We'll see what it's gonna be. It's gonna be me versus chat, aka me, I made the thing. And y'all get to vote on what the answer is gonna be. So it is coincidentally also Pokemon Day. So we definitely have the Pokemon Direct that we're gonna be talking about as well. So yeah, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. I will be back Monday with my 2 anniversary special, 8:30 p.m. my time, which is 9:30 for most of Europe, should be 12:30 PST and 7:30 a.m. Australia Sydney time. I really hope to see you all there. Safripo, you are always welcome to come back. And I really hope that the little bit of stream that you watched today you did enjoy. So yeah, we have a chat minigame as well, which there will be rewards for. There will be rewards for that you can get on Monday. So yeah, enjoy the game. You can play it offline, and I'll see you back on Monday. I'm really curious to see what you guys are gonna think about it. So yeah, anyways, bye guys. See you next time. Have a good weekend. Bye.